Yo, what's poppin', everybody? How y'all doing out there today? Welcome back to the podcast, another episode of Caffeine and Green with your man, Conor Cardenas. And before we get into it today, man, I just want to give a huge shout out to the title sponsor of Caffeine and Green, which is 7 Seas Roasting Company, coming straight out of San Diego, my home roaster. Now, what makes this roastery so sick is that we get to work with these farmers. We're not just getting these coffees, we're working with them directly and making sure that everybody's taken care of. So we're not taking care of just the consumer, we're taking care of that farmer as well. So it's really awesome. We get to showcase these coffees. Now, full transparency, I am the head roaster at 7 Seas. But regardless, you know that the coffee that I'm giving you is straight fire, yo. So if you head over to the website, 7seasroasting.com, use my code C&G at checkout, you're going to get 3 bags of coffee for $30. That's an amazing deal because 2 bags of coffee is essentially $32. So you're getting a bag for free. It's a no-brainer. So you can go over to the website, choose from any of the coffees that we have, like our dark Guatemala, which is chocolatey and it's full-bodied and it's a little bit of our dark roast. And it's just, we have other options. We have a Peruvian, we have our Lao coffees, the Fodom Quan, our new Lao, and Setapung as well. So we got options, people. So use that coffee code C&G at checkout, and you'll be good. My guests today, we have Mickey and Sammy Jogoleff, the owner and operator, amazing power couple of Jogoleff Gym in National City, California. Now, I had a really, really good time talking to this couple. It was very informative. It was very inspiring, I have to say. Mickey himself has made a complete transformation and just had an inspiring story about what he did to turn his life around and dedicate himself to this life of fitness. And at the same time, his wife, Sammy, she was an RN. She's a registered nurse, and she left that job and took a leap of faith with a new boyfriend, now husband, to start this gym. And it was inspired by OCR races, which is an obstacle course race, and they even got married there. So please enjoy this podcast. It was really informative, and it was really important to me because I love fitness, and it was a great time to get to talk about ways to improve your life and see how they've done it and how to keep it going. So please enjoy it, guys. Caffeine and Green is what it is. Let's keep spreading it out there. And for everybody who's out there listening, Caffeine and Green is now available on Spotify. So tell everybody. Mickey, Sammy, this your time to shine, homies. Let's go. Caffeine and Green. It's your boy Conor. What's good? Good. Caffeine and Green. And we are live.
Uh-oh.
Yes. Jogoleff Gym is in the house, guys. We have Mickey and we have Sam.
Sam or Sammy. Either
Sam
way.
or Sammy. Which one do you want to go by?
We'll go by Sammy.
Sammy?
We'll make it all like wise.
Yes. All right. I back that. So yeah, basically I wanted to have you guys on the podcast because did you guys check out the podcast at all? Have you guys seen what the kind of the vibe is around?
We're gonna let you do that for us.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Totally.
Unveil right now.
Perfect. So the point of basically the show is that it's like skateboarding, like we were just talking about. I had some rappers on. I have creatives essentially. Like I was telling you, my brother-in-law Delmar, he's a trainer as well in Vegas. So I've had him on. We talk about health and nutrition. These are things that like definitely spiked my interest. I have Turk and Ash, a couple of the tattoo artists. As you can tell, I like tattoos. So I have a lot of interests, and I have a lot of homies from all different walks of life. So I was like, well, I'm just gonna kind of throw it all together in a mishmash and definitely see what happens. I mean, it's taken off pretty well. I mean, I think you guys are gonna be episode 39.
Wow.
And I only started, we were talking about this earlier. You said, how did I start the podcast?
Yeah, what got you into it?
Or how long?
Yeah, how long have you been doing this?
Well, I did my first one with my homie Shay in May of last year.
Nice.
Didn't do one again until July. Fast forward, I didn't do another one until December. But it was just like sitting in my house. And I think we even just like had the mic just kind of like hella ghetto, just like holding it right here. My one homie Demetrius, he was like holding the mic, but he would like hold it away. He would start like right here on the mic, and then he would just like casually just like let his hand drop down, and I was like, bro, where's the mic over here, bro? Like, what are
Like
you
you're
doing?
fired.
Yeah, like, but no, it was great, and that's what started it, and it was because I had gone back to school just to do Spanish, because I was like, well, like case in point, today we had a Mexican farmer in here doing coffee, and he's speaking Spanish, and mine is, I've been speaking Spanish now for 3 years,
Oh, wow.
and it's like definitely a lot better, but it's nowhere near like a fluent speaker, obviously, but I can get around. We were in Spain. I was getting us around. It was no problem.
So more than Spanglish.
Definitely more than Spanglish. Definitely. But I was like, I finished class. I was about to go into Spanish too. And I was like, well, damn, the podcast is kind of like sick. I think I should just do this for a bit. And then it just started spiraling and spiraling. And then I didn't realize how much of setting it up and just all the work that actually goes into it. And then it was like, well, after I put it in all the work and like got the graphic and did all these things for the show and got like better gear and stuff, I was like, well, I should probably do this for a while. So then it just kind of started spiraling. But then it was like, oh, once I got to episode like 15, I was like, oh, I have to like reach out to people I don't know now. And then so it kind of just started going and going. And then now Eric and 7Cs have like become the title sponsor of the show.
Nice.
So it's been nice. So I was like, dude, well, throw me some people. And he's like, well, my cousin has a gym. And I was like, oh, yeah, the unicorn fuel thing. And I was like, hell yeah, because you guys have that shirt that we sell, right? Yeah. So that was kind of what got me started in that. But then as I saw your sister Chrissy, and I was like, well, tell me some more stuff about them. Let me know what's going on. Like,
Hopefully it was good things.
oh yeah, no, it was all really good stuff. And
It was nice.
it's a lot of stuff that I wanted to get into today. Is like the first and foremost. So you guys own a gym.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just Go Lift. That's the name. And where is this based at?
We're in National City.
National City.
So, I mean, we're basically downtown San Diego.
Okay.
It's like 5 to 10 minutes south of there.
Okay.
So we like to say that because people think we're in Mexico. We're not.
Mexico.
Yeah. You say National City, I'm like, oh, I'm not going that far south. You're like,
Nasty
"We're-"
city, what?
Yeah. We're like, we're just south of the Coronado Bridge exit. So it's like, we're right there.
Oh, okay. So right negative sound, or just right south of
Chicano Park?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say.
Yeah, for sure.
Dude, perfect.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I love Chicano Park. I
Yeah.
was just there the other day. I took my dad, because I'm Mexican, and I took my dad down there.
Me
I was like,
too.
Dad, are you?
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. That's right. That's right, bro. Holla. We got a lot of listeners in Mexico, actually, too, so it's
Yeah.
pretty tight.
Yeah.
But I took my pops down there. I was like, dude, you're going to love it down here. We'll go to Salud Tacos. I'll show you Chicano Park. And, man, I even showed him Por Vida, the
Yeah.
coffee shop down there. Shout out to
Oh,
Por
yeah.
Vida, all the homies. But, yeah, man, I love it down there. I feel so at home. I'm like, dude, this reminds me of my grandma's house. Like, hell yeah. I was like walking around outside. Like, yeah, all of this reminds me of my grandma's house. But regardless. So what got you guys in doing the gym? Because, again, I talked to Eric right before I was saying about your lemon latte. I was apologizing about the lemon latte.
It's okay,
He
it's
calculated your macros.
I know. It's okay.
And
I got it in, though. It's perfect.
Dude, yes. Did you already finish it?
Yes,
Yeah.
I
Damn.
slammed it. I got my cookies in, my honey. I got everything.
And
I
a
got the
pour
lemon.
over.
Pour
Dude.
over. Done.
But he said, in finding this out, he said that you were a registered nurse.
Mm-hmm.
And what did you do? Were you just all fitness the whole time? Or?
Oh, definitely not.
No?
I was probably the least healthy person you'd ever meet. So before I got into fitness, I did construction, and so I did a lot of the stuff that I guess came with stereotypical construction work. So drank a lot of beers, smoked cigarettes, ran off coffee and fast food. So I did that for years until I found fitness, or it found me through humiliation and friends telling me, hey, look, like you got big, because I got up to 245 pounds.
How much do you weigh now?
Now I'm back up to 175.
Back up to 175.
Yeah, because when I started losing weight, I got all the way down to like 155, and then trying to build back up muscle instead of just like just weight.
He wants to be 200 solid.
So that's the goal, putting on 25 more pounds, but the right way.
And that's just with like constant eating, planning your meals, doing those things that are all very time consuming, I guess you could say. Yeah.
Regimented, there
you go.
Yeah. Stimulating growth in a positive way in my body, I guess.
Damn.
But so I did construction, and then I transferred over to doing installs for most of the major companies, so like Best Buy, Lowe's, Home Depot, all those like big box stores. And so I did in-home deliveries for small appliances. And then during that time, I had found fitness for myself, lost almost 100 pounds.
100 pounds?
Well, because I was 245 down to 155, so 90 pounds. And so I did that, and then seeing the change that it had in me, it inspired other people around me, like my mom. I was able to help my mom lose 115 pounds.
Wow.
And then people asked, like, oh, what have you been doing? What have you been doing? And so that made me think, like, oh, well, like, maybe I can help other people the way that I've helped myself. And so I left installing to just pursue that, and that's what I was doing when we met.
Dang.
And so I was just, like, solo doing it.
So you actually were, like, on a different path. What about you, Sammy?
I was a registered nurse, so I
Yes.
was doing that for 9 years about.
Wow.
Yeah. I didn't have that extreme of
Wait,
a
how
health
old
journey.
are you?
Older than you. Yeah, my health journey, I mean, I've never been, like, super overweight. I had little, like, extra chub and stuff.
Of course.
And so when I was 19, I had a personal trainer, and then I had a previous marriage. And I stopped working out and just was nursing. And then I got divorced, and I continued. I was like, I need to get back on this workout journey. So I started working out again. But for me, like, the reason why I transitioned over was because I was in the ER. And so I saw a lot of unhealthy people coming in that was, like, easily could have been prevented by diet and exercise. Like, I think there was a 12-year-old kid who had to have his gallbladder removed because he was so unhealthy and so overweight.
Whoa.
And so, like, stuff like that just trips me out. And, like, people with type 2 diabetes, and, like, you know, you're going to lose your foot because you are eating like crap.
Yeah.
And so that was one of the things that got me into it, as well as I started obstacle course racing.
Yes.
So,
Okay.
and that's how we had met.
That was the other thing that Eric had mentioned to me. He was like, there's a OCR. And I was like, what acronym is that? And he was like, it's obstacle course racing.
Yeah.
Yes.
So what is that?
Obstacle course racing.
Yeah,
So
I don't know what that is.
So it's like, have you seen Ninja Warrior?
American Ninja Warrior?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
it's like that, except for instead of the obstacles being back to back, there's running in between. So it's like
oh, like a Spartan race.
exactly.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I was like in the
Exactly.
mud. Tough Mudder, Spartan, those are OCR races.
Okay. Okay. I know. I guess I wouldn't really be related to him anymore, but he was my sister. It was my brother-in-law, but they
Okay.
got divorced.
Ah.
So now, but
So he's an outlaw.
Yeah.
He was an in-law, now he's an outlaw.
No.
Is
my
that what
God.
is it? Is that what it's called?
It makes sense, right?
Twice removed, once removed, something like
there
that.
you go.
But either way, he's with his new wife or girlfriend, something like that. But he's like all into that, and I was like, oh, what? Like, dude, he lost hella weight. He used to be like a little chubber, but sorry, Julio, if you ever hear this, but now he's like slim and he's good. And I was telling my wife, I was like, you see Julio? And she's like, you still follow him? I was like, yeah. I'm like,
She's like, what? Why?
yeah. I was like, I think she might still follow him too. So whatever, it's fine.
She's
But-
like, okay, now we can talk about it.
Yeah, I was just like, dude, like he went from like just out of shape to in shape. So do those races, like, I mean, they're not like yourselves. There's some people who are just all shapes and sizes who are killing out and
Oh, for
doing it,
sure.
and they have those. You have to carry those things on your shoulders, right? Their weights or whatever.
Yeah.
But I mean, why you guys met there and then decided to open up a gym together? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, so, like, well, for me, the reason why I had gotten into it, because if I could conquer an obstacle course race, because it's mentally and physically demanding, I thought I
Sick.
could conquer anything in life. And so we met, I had been into it for like 2 years maybe, and we were at a world championship in Lake Tahoe. So I'm originally from Torrance, which is about 2 hours north of
yeah,
here.
up in LA.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then we thought, oh, how random is it that we're in Lake Tahoe? And we both met, but we were on an obstacle, the bucket carry, and I had turned over, and I thought that he looked like Justin Timberlake. And so I was so tired. What mile was it?
It's 13 and a half. I think.
Okay, well, 13 and a half.
13 and a half?
It was a 16-mile
Yeah.
race.
Whoa.
It was a horrid race. Yeah, it was hard.
Yeah.
And so we're on the
Tahoe in
bucket
October,
carry,
the top of the mountain.
and you
is-
swim
Ugh.
in the lake.
it's
It was
great.
like
No
30
bueno.
That was
degrees.
the first race that I was like, I need to rethink my decision making skills. This is a horrible idea.
Yeah. So basically, we're on the obstacle, and I looked at him, and I was like, oh, he's kind of cute. Like, maybe I should say something. And I thought the whole Justin Timberlake thing. I'm like, screw it. I'm freaking so tired. I don't care what he says. He's cute. I'm just going to, tell him he looks like Justin Timberlake. So that's what I told him. I said, has anyone ever told you you could be Justin Timberlake's brother? And he just, like, looked at me. And then he,
said
like,
nothing.
He said nothing. He just, like, looked at me and, like, smiled and then just went on his way. And
Yeah,
then,
you're like in the middle of this race,
Yeah,
like on mile
yeah,
13,
yeah,
probably just
yeah.
busted down, just like, damn it. What?
Yeah.
All right, just cool, later.
Yeah. And so then it was about a couple hours later, and he was coming in half naked because he was doing a photo shoot. And
Oh, you
once
were
again,
pumped.
it's winter in Tahoe, and I'm like freezing. And so I asked him like, "Hey, can we take a picture together?" And so he's like, "If you tag me on Instagram."
Oh,
and
shoot.
So then yeah,
Oh, shoot.
we took a picture, and then of course I tagged him, and then I hit him up in the DM.
Oh, slid in the DM.
Yeah, she
Dude.
pursued. I was like, all right, I can't run that fast.
Dude.
But the funny part is Chrissy, she has a son.
See.
And so her son is half black.
Mhm.
Well, at the time, he had a picture of him and a black woman on his profile. And so then in his Instagram, he also has this
Me and my
child,
nephew, my
his
nephew.
And I'm like, is he married? Like, who is this woman? I would hope that he's not talking to me, being,
Yeah.
And then I finally was like, it must be hard being a dad. And he's like, that's my nephew. I'm like, how?
Hey,
would I
that's
have
subtle
known?
though. That's
Right?
subtle though. You gotta like, you gotta probe like, oh, you have a cute son. Like, I'm my son. Like,
One is funny because like when she said that, I was like, oh, I never even thought that was like the image that I was putting out there, because I put a picture of me and my homegirl as like profile. I was like, oh, it's a dope picture. I'll just put it up there because I like it. And then my nephew's half black, and I used to babysit him all the time.
Yeah.
So we'd take pictures doing stuff, and I'm like, oh, like me and this little guy. I was never like me and my nephew, because I didn't think like I had to specify.
yeah, right.
And for her, she was like, what does that mean?
I know. Because as a woman, you have to like Instagram stalk. So,
Yeah, this is true. I've heard these things. I'm a little out of the game because I've been with my wife now for, oh God, she's gonna get me for this. I say it wrong every time. It's like 8 or 9 years.
Wow.
One of them.
So just say it was before Instagram.
Yeah, it was honestly before Instagram. So I don't even, dude, I didn't even know Tinder was, and I was like, damn, I am slipping in the game, but it's all good. But I mean, I definitely understand though, if like you had a photo, if you're a single guy and you have a photo with you and a girl in your profile picture, I could see how that could be a little deceiving.
With children.
Yeah, there you go.
And he's like working out with children. I was like, that's a very cute little boy, but like, is that your little boy? And if it's okay, great. But interesting. So we started talking through Instagram. It was probably like 2 weeks to a month. And mind you, we'd only spoken like maybe 3 minutes in person just to exchange Instagrams and take a photo. And within that month of knowing each other, we had decided like, we want to get married, and we're going to get married on November 11th. And we haven't even met in person again.
Wait, what?
Yes.
Yeah. We set our wedding date after had only been together or like in person for a few minutes, and then got to know each other via like text or Instagram messaging.
Over how long?
Maybe 2 weeks.
Yeah, 2 weeks to a month, somewhere around there.
2 weeks to a month.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And never having like met in person again. And so we're like, wow, like we really feel like this. We should probably like meet up, because
Like,
he's in
all
San
right.
Diego, I'm in Torrance. Like,
So we're like, all right, if we're gonna make this wedding day happen, we should probably have a date first.
Whoa.
And then
Whoa, what? This is
Yeah.
crazy. Okay. So when did this happen? How long you guys been married?
we're coming up married 2 years. Yeah.
Wow.
And so we met in 2016, and then we got married in 2017, which is the same year we opened the gym.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, you guys really do go all in, man. That's crazy.
We
I mean,
open-
in a good way. I say a lot. I say that's crazy a lot. But okay, so you decide to get married over Instagram DMs. You finally have a date.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you guys were like, "Oh no, yeah, this is chill. We're
Yeah,
still feeling
yeah,
each
yeah,
other."
yeah.
Okay. How long did this? So I'm assuming this was like September, October, and you decided you were getting married in November.
Yeah. pretty much.
Of the following year. Mm-hmm.
Oh wow. Oh, of the following
Of
year.
following
Yeah,
year.
so we didn't
Yeah,
get
yeah,
we didn't
yeah.
get married a month later. We set our date. We're like, all right, we'll get married next year in November.
Ah,
And
okay.
then
See, I
we
thought
did
you
that.
got married like 2 months
no, no,
later.
no,
I was
no,
about to be
no,
like,
no.
damn.
We set the
that's-
date, and we're like, all
We
right.
opened the gym before we got married.
Okay. Good.
Yeah.
So you set the date. So at what point in this, between the dating and then you guys getting married in November, how did the gym come up?
So when we first met, she had been playing with the idea of opening a gym, and she was working towards that in regards, like she was like, all right, she had someone that she potentially wanted to work with and do it, and then was like, all right, this is something I'm going for. And so when we were first talking, she was having meetings with different people in regards like, all right, we're doing this. We're gonna sit down and talk about how we're gonna build the gym. And so they'd have the meetings, and I'd follow up with her like, oh, like how'd it go? What are you guys doing? She's like, nothing. It's like another meeting, and like nothing. And I was like, all right, well, like what's the point of, like, why are you having all these meetings if you're not getting anywhere? And so I saw that for a little bit, and then I told her, I was like, hey, look, if this is something that you really want to do and the people that you're potentially working with aren't taking action, then you have to make the decision on, like, hey, whether you're going to do it with or without them. Mm-hmm. And if you're going to move forward without them, would you want to move forward and, like, we could try it together? And luckily she was receptive. She was like, oh, that sounds good, because I don't see them doing anything.
Yeah.
So we had that conversation in like January, and then February we're like, all right, let's try it together. And so February we decided to try to open a gym, and then
this is a couple months into you guys dating.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So we met in October of 16, and in February of 17 we decided, like, all right, let's open a gym. And then we had our grand opening July that year, so 6 months later.
Damn, you're just like your cousin. You guys move fast. You guys move fast. So, I mean, one of the things that I wanted to ask is, like, what, now that you've had the gym open now for a little over a year, it sounds, or no, we're in 2019. Yeah, sorry. Thought we were in 2018. 2 years.
Flies.
Dude, right? What has been the biggest challenge? Like, the biggest stressors, the biggest ups and downs, success parts of it? Because, I mean, I was looking at your guys' Instagram today, and you have a very spacious gym. I'm talking hella pull-up bars. And I mean, a place like that can't be cheap, and it can't. All that equipment definitely can't be cheap. So, what's the hardest part about that for you guys?
I mean, I'll answer, and then I'll see what she says after, or you go first.
No, you go. You already.
All right. So, for us, like, we've had a lot of changes since we've opened, because we opened being, obviously, opening a gym in 6 months, very self-motivated, right? And we're like, hey, look, we opened a space that we would like to train in, because we assumed that there were so many people like us that would want to be able to come in and just train freely. So it's like, hey, look, we'll create a dope place to help people train for obstacle course racing. They can come in, they can train themselves, and then we'll all celebrate at a race. And then
on that note, everyone was like, oh, like, for obstacle course racing, most of the people, they don't train for these races.
Yeah.
And so they would come and they'd be like, well, if I just had a place to train, I would, be no problem. I'll be there right there, right when you guys open. Like, okay, great. Like, we'll open a spot. And I think a lot of people didn't think we were going to do it.
Yeah.
But
it was also like, for us, we thought that we definitely identified, like, oh, there's a need in this community. We would try to fulfill it. And then we opened. Not everyone was as, supportive, and then also not everyone is as self-motivated or even knows what to do. Like, they can come into the space, but we realized real quick that, like, people also need to be trained, not just have a place to train.
Of course.
So then at first it was just 100% open gym, come do your own thing. And then once we realized that people needed help, we obviously adjusted, and we're like, all right, like, we'll start training people because this is what they need. And then so we started just doing fitness training, and then we progressed from there, where it was like, all right, like, this is good, but people still need more help. So then we started to incorporate nutrition. So I was like, all right, we'll do this. And then we added on some, like, accountability, because, like, if their nutrition's on point and they're killing it in the gym, sometimes, like, they had a long day at work, they missed the session, they get in their own head, like, oh, well, I didn't go yesterday, like, fuck it, I'm not even gonna go back, or whatever.
I'll have a beer today.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so it just snowballs. And so, like, we started, incorporating some accountability and just checking up on people. Hey, look, like, we're here, we care. All that stuff. And then a couple months back, the most recent progression was taking our services from inside the facility to people outside of the facility. So it's like, hey, look, like, the facility is awesome. We love it. It's spacious. It's great. But it is still very limiting. People are like, oh, I can't get in. The times don't work for me. It's too far, whatever. So we've taken the service that we provide in the facility and, taking it online. So we give people nutrition, accountability, support, as well as ways to work out either at home or at another facility. And so we're hoping to push the same education support that we have in our facility outside. And then the facility now is 100% private use. So we use for better education, more like clinics, things like that, special events. And then all of our training with our people is done either one-on-one or on our online platform that we've built.
And that's awesome, because now people can access it honestly from their phone, because everybody has their phone in their pocket.
Yeah. But the hardest part is realizing that we are not our customers. Because, Because, like, for us, it's like, oh, like, what would I like? But we have to realize that, like, we're different than the people that we're servicing. So it's like, hey, look, like we're potentially ahead the road on the journey. So we have to remember like who we were, or like, hey, look, at one point, this is what I need help with, and focusing on that, because that'll help them. You know, like if someone wants to get where I am, I have to help them from there to here. Mm-hmm. And so that has been probably the biggest eye opener for both of us, is identifying that like we're not our customers. We need to meet them where they're at. Like, what do they actually need help with, and then providing them with that.
That's good. I'm making a note here. Sorry,
No.
I have a point that I just thought about, and I want to bring it back to that, but I didn't want to cut you off because I wanted to hear what you think has been the biggest challenge for you.
For me, honestly, I was an ER nurse before. I had no business experience. And so that has definitely been challenging. I end up doing a lot of like behind the scene work. So like trying to figure out like who's a good accountant? What does all these like numbers mean? What's a profit and loss statement? And so learning how to do all that, as well as just knowing that like you constantly need to be adjusting and be flexible with your approach, because like he said, when we first opened, it was just open gym concept, and we realized, okay, people want to be told what to do, and so we're like, well, maybe we'll do classes. So then we start doing classes, and we're like, wow, it's a lot of work. Now we need employees, and it's like, holy crap, now I gotta manage employees, I gotta do payroll. So there's a lot of like pieces that you have to learn. And so that was probably challenging. I mean, good, because it definitely pushes you to grow. And then just learning like the whole marketing aspect of things.
Dude, marketing.
And
It's a beast.
And like figuring out like who is it that you want to target? Like who is your ideal customer, and like how is it that you want to help them? And learning to really like understand what their needs are and how you can get them to the level that they actually like need to go, because there's
on an individual basis.
Because we
fitness is huge. Like similar like coffee, like the audience is potentially massive, right? But you still have to know, you have to know who you're talking to. And so for us, it's like, at first it's like, oh, well, who's your audience? It's like everybody needs fit. Everyone needs to be healthy.
Yeah.
But like, who are we actually helping? Not just like, all right, the world, like identifying a little bit clearer.
Yeah, like a little bit of a niche.
Yeah.
A niche, if you
and
will.
so like when we originally opened, it was OCR, because that's what we had the intention of helping. And then we realized that as we were doing classes, like people needed more than just fitness. It was more of a lifestyle transformation and teaching them that balance.
Yeah.
And the only thing that people ever had in common was the desire to get better. It didn't matter like male, female, didn't matter race, didn't matter age. Like we had 12-year-olds to 55-year-olds. But everybody just had the desire to be like in a positive, uplifting environment.
Of course.
And just to get better.
That's awesome. Well, that's good. I mean, I can completely relate on all of that. I mean, I went to school. My degree is in marketing and PR, and I've always thought, I was like, oh, just marketing will just be the easiest thing ever. You know, and I feel like maybe back when I got my college degree, it might have been because it was kind of around the cusp of when Instagram and all these other things started. And I remember when I was reading like one of my books in my classes, and it was like, everything's like marketing. And then there's like a little paragraph about social media marketing. It's like, dude, I bet you now that book is like all social media marketing.
Sure.
Yeah.
And it's constant. I mean, you guys know, I mean, you guys actually have the business. I have the podcast here, but I was talking to my wife, and she was like, dude, you're on your phone all the time. And I'm like, I'm not even like just like scrolling for bullshit.
Yeah.
I'm on legit like, okay, what did I do here? I always make lists. As you can see, I have lists here. If you go through my phone, there's like constant lists. I'm like, you know how you have the bubble? You can yellow bubble, check. I make a list as soon as I get home after working here, and I'm like, okay, this is what I need to do before the night, and I scan all my analytics. I'm like, okay, here's when people are listening, or here's people are going to like most impressions, most reach, this, that, and this, and it's like,
it's almost like a brain dump.
Dude, it is so gnarly. And then you get into like SEOs, search engine optimization, and it's like keywords and stuff. So I'm like, I'm on Google Trends. I'm like, okay, well, here's like a hashtag I can use like this, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, oh.
But see, that's why your podcast is doing well, because you put in the work behind it. So many people with a podcast, like, if I just have good conversation, you're like
no one's going to find you.
Yeah. Dude. It's like if they say if a tree falls in the forest, does anyone hear it? Like, you could have a great podcast and no one's listening.
Well, dude, especially now there's so many people doing it. And it's like, you know, it's hella funny. My homie just hit me up today. Shout out Shay Cooper. He's the man. He owns Steel Mill Coffee.
Okay.
Me and him used to work together in coffee, but then I've had him. He was my first person that I did on the podcast ever. And then fast forward, he just came on recently again with us, Steel Mill, this guy Riley and this other guy Chris. So they were in my house. It was just us four. But then he hit me up today because I got back from Spain and in Italy, and he was like, dude, it looks like you were having a good time, blah, blah, blah. But he's like, have you heard my podcast? I was like, you got a podcast now? And he hits me with it. He sent me a photo, and it was Friendship Fiends or something like that. I might got it wrong, but he was like, dude, we got to have you on. I'm like, hell yes, bro. I'm so down. But I'm just saying that because now it seems like everybody does kind of have one once they find out how easy it is. But at the same time, dude, I feel like a lot of people say it's easy, but it's like, dude, it's so not easy. Do you have one?
Yes, but we haven't kept it up to date. But I remember when we were first trying to launch it.
And even like getting on Apple, like all that stuff, like it's like,
dude, and if you don't know tech, if you don't know like how to do, dude, you're sitting there and it's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do this in a couple hours, dude. Like 6 hours later, you're sitting there.
It took us like a week to get it on. We're like,
oh, dude,
and it was funny because like it felt like everything was the final step. You're like, oh, I just got to do this. And you're like, but you need that. You're like, what the? That wasn't on the last step.
Yeah.
I thought I got past the gatekeeper. Like, no, but you need this one more thing. You already have to host it over here.
Yeah. I'm
like, and then
what
you have
is
to
that?
get this. I'm like, what? This is bullshit. Like,
oh, dude. Oh, dude. I got hit up by a random dude on LinkedIn today. He was like, hey, just want to let you know one of your guests, this guy is coming back to this company. We're going to do a press release, kind of a big deal. And I was like, oh, dude, like sick. And this guy's like a professional on LinkedIn. I guess I'm a professional, but I don't consider myself a professional. That doesn't sound right. I am a professional.
You're a professional.
Whatever. Yeah, I'm a professional, but like
not
I
like
just
suit tie, like
executive. Yeah, hell no, dude. I wear a gold grill, bro. That's what I do. That's how I stunt. But this guy is like hitting me up, and he's like, I just want to let you know your website's down, and it's through Libsyn and this. And I was like,
Libsyn, that's what we use.
Oh yeah, that's what I use for this. And he was like, it's down through there, and it's down. Your link to your website is down on iTunes as well. Just wanted to let you know. And I was like, oh, thanks, bro. Like, I don't have the website. I bought the domain. So that way nobody can take my website. But then I was like, oh, well, now I have to do the website. And I'm thinking, like, I'm already, like, forward thinking. I'm like, okay, I'm going to do e-commerce. I got, like, a small run of this, a little of that. I'm just like, dude, it never ends. Yeah. It never ends. Maybe before we went to Europe, I did the entire month of podcasts in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
That's a lot of work.
Dude, 9 podcasts in 2 weeks.
Well, and especially depending on the length of the podcast and editing and all that other stuff.
Dude, it was the day we were going to the airport, I was sitting there, hold on, babe, I just got to download this real quick. Just like editing, like last minute, like shit. All right, we're good, let's go. Showed up late to this party on our way up. It's like, damn it. Sorry, guys. Totally off subject, but
no, that's the struggles, right?
Yeah, it's just the one thing I did want to bring up is because you guys already kind of covered it, but. What is the couples cartel?
Oh, okay.
Because Eric told me about this too. I was like, what is that?
So like we were talking before in regards to the progression or growing in regards to seeing what people need, and so we identified or noticed that like people want help outside of just fitness and nutrition, and then there's more of the mental aspect. So we moved into helping people or coaching them on, performance or their mindset. So for me, my transformation and everything that I've accomplished has been greatly due to changing the way that I saw myself, the way I think about myself, or the way that the effort that I put into my mind rather than just my body. And so we wanted to give that back to people. So we started coaching people personally. I guess the closest thing that people would know would be like life coaching, but
yeah, motivational speaking,
and so
Tony Robbins type stuff.
Exactly.
Okay.
And so we started doing that, and then we also noticed that like for couples, especially ones in business, there's not really anyone that could facilitate that type of growing or learning for them. And so what we do is we work with couples who are in business, either in business together or one of the people in the relationship is in a business, because it adds a different dynamic to the relationship. And like,
interesting.
Unfortunately, in regards to like coaching and masterminds or things like that, they provide a lot of service, but most of the time it's separate, where it's like, hey, look, it's an all women's thing or it's an all men's thing.
Yeah.
And they don't really do it where it's like, hey, look, like we didn't see the point of like me working with like the men and saying like, go back and, work on this with your wife. Like if your guys are going to do it together, you might as well learn together with couples that are in a similar experience. And so the Couples Cartel is a couples in business mastermind that we facilitate to help. The way that we do it is we focus on strengthening the relationship, and then in turn the business will thrive rather than fixing the business to fix a relationship. It's kind of like like when you're in an airplane and the oxygen mask comes off, you got to take care of yourself, and then you could take care of other people, right? So,
Okay.
like you have to make sure you're good, your house is good before you can go out and do other things. So we help people to strengthen their relationship, and then in turn strengthen their business. And our business has definitely had some, ups and downs. We've hit a lot of, obstacles, roadblocks, things that could have potentially strained our relationship. And rather than having it tear us apart, especially moving as fast as we did, and even like when we first got started, we lived in the fucking gym. And so like we went from like both living with our parents to living in an office upstairs in the gym.
He'd never lived with us, another woman.
Yeah.
Before.
My longest relationship before this was like 11 months. After that, I was like, you gotta go. And so definitely never like, shared a space. And definitely not like our place that we lived in on top of the gym was about 400 square feet. So it's small. And so like doing that with the new business, all this stuff, is definitely like potential for heightened stress. And so rather than like letting that tear us apart, we learned how to use those things to strengthen our relationship. So we want to use those experiences to help other couples do the same.
I like that. Have you guys ever heard the term? I mean, I don't know. This is what I say to myself whenever I don't want to do something. I just like, especially if I suck at it, just like embrace the suck. Yeah. That's what I do every day. I have to do something that I suck at, because if I don't, then I'm like, I'm not doing anything with my life.
Well, then you'd be good at obstacle course racing. That's like
I feel like I would be.
That's like they're saying.
Yeah.
Is it really?
Well, so there's a couple. So Joe Decker, he runs Gut Check Fitness, which is here. So I think he has a Guinness World Record, something like the fittest man in the world or universe or America or something. Whoa. For a while. And so him and his wife are located here, and they run Gut Check Fitness, and they run endurance events, which is basically like, however long they decide, and they'll just put you through something that sucks until, they're tired. And so that's one of their
until they're tired.
Yeah, and that's one of their sayings is just like embrace the suck, just go with it. Dude. And most of the time you can get through an event if you embrace it rather than try to fight it. And that's what they do, is try to teach people that mental shift of like hating it and just like grinding it out and be like, oh, I got to do this, and realizing that it sucks and just being like, this is it, fucking bring it on.
Dude, I love it. I always say this, and my wife hears me say it all the time, is like, dude, this too shall pass. Because I think about it, I apply that to everything in life. Yeah. Having the best day of your life, it's gonna pass. Yeah. You're having the shittiest day of your life, it's gonna pass. Yeah. So you just got to get through that. But I feel, for me personally, I run. That's what I do. Yeah. I did go to the gym. I lift weights maybe like twice a week. But dude, I have so much endurance and just I don't want to say demons, but like I have so much like angst and shit going on in my head all the time, that unless I run for like extremely long distances,
you're ready for an ultra marathon.
Dude,
100K.
oh no, I actually want to. That's my goal. Is I want to do.
So Marty, right?
Marty?
Our cousin that does.
Oh, dude, no, I ran a 5K with him at Catalina the other couple weeks ago.
Oh, for Xanadu?
Xanadu, yeah. Dude, I was talking mad shit on the way over there. Not like actual mad shit, but I was just like, I'm going to smoke these fools. They don't even know they ain't ready. And then I got there and was like, oh, there's like people actually in shape here. I was like, oh, shit.
And this isn't a normal 5K.
Yeah, I was like, damn it. But then I was like, all right, I'm still like kind of talking shit. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to do this. I had my grill in. I was like, I don't give a fuck. And then I got there, and then it was so hot on Catalina.
Here come the excuses.
No, dude, Marty was like, no, I'm going to run too. And I was like, oh, cool. And then so I started off, and I was like right behind the dude who was like setting the pace. But dude, I'm a distance runner. I run marathons. I don't run speed. Yeah. So I'm like chasing this dude.
Trying to pace yourself.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh shit. I ended up like pretty much in first the whole time, and then I ended up dropping back to fourth, and then I got fourth in it, which was still tight.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, that's cool. Yeah, I ran the 5K, I think it's like 3.5 miles in 22 minutes.
Oh, nice.
So I was like, it's still fucking kind of slow, you know.
If this was 5 times longer, I would have smoked.
Dude, smoked them. But
there
hey,
is
fourth
such
place.
a difference. There's such a difference between the sprints versus the long endurance.
High school, I could not run sprints. No, I'm on the 400, guys. Thanks. We're good. Run the long lap. But, I mean, for me, I'm so cardio oriented. Like I feel like if I don't get my cardio on, I was a wasted day. Like I went to the gym and I broke a sweat for like 45 minutes just to get a quick one in, but I was like,
So you might like HIIT workouts though.
Oh
like
yeah,
where you're doing weight
I
and cardio.
well, I like legs. I'm like been obsessed with
Oh,
legs.
I could give you some good leg workouts.
Dude, I love leg. Do you guys follow on Instagram? His name's
Brett Contreras.
Primal Swolder or
Oh,
something
no,
like that.
I
He's
don't
the
know.
On It trainer.
Okay.
He's you guys know On It, right?
Yeah.
So he's like an On It trainer in Austin. This dude just gets paid to work out all day. And his
Yeah.
Instagram is like 3 different videos of him just get jacked. You know, those kettlebell workouts. I follow his workouts when I'm doing that.
Yeah.
So today I did that, and it was like I had some kettlebells side to side, and I was doing like I don't even know what you want to
Like
call them.
deadlifts?
Deadlifts essentially with kettlebells.
Suitcase carry or suitcase.
Yeah,
ones.
and then did some squats, and then I had like a big heavy one, and then I was doing more squats, and then just doing like a push up, squat, bring it up, shoulder thrust one, like that. So, but like
so
switch
you
it up.
do like HIIT side.
Yeah. So I like it. It's
Yeah.
cool, but I've been like trying to figure out where I want to go with this because my dad, he's like 70, and he might be 72 now. Yeah, it's somewhere around there. But he hits me up. He's like, "You ready to run another marathon?" I'm like, "Fuck."
Well, is he a runner?
Oh yeah, that's where I got it from. My
Wow.
dad, as long as I can remember, even when I was a little fat kid, and I was like, oh dude, I was so fat. I was like a little fatty. But my dad would make me ride my bike with him while he would be running around the lake. Just keep running. And I'm just like, damn. So when I got into high school, I started running. Fast forward, we're running together. We ran the San Francisco Marathon together last year.
Wow.
And dude, it was heavy. That marathon is
Oh,
tough.
from like the hills.
Yeah. But it's not even that they're like steep. They're just like a
Constant,
steady
yeah.
incline the whole time. Just
Yeah.
like, fuck.
It's like the
I
Tour de
like-
France, but except for
Dude,
Or even, like,
in
isn't
San
there one that's,
Francisco,
like
bro.
Monterey, I think. Or
Yeah,
like
Monterey is
along
pretty.
the-
Yeah, Monterey is good. I think
heard
we're actually gonna.
Seattle's rough on hills too, isn't it?
I don't know about
Oh.
Seattle, but we're gonna run one in I think Ventura in December.
Oh, nice.
He's like hell bent on qualifying for Boston, so he's like, I'm gonna make it this year. He's like, the older you get, the more chances you're gonna make it to Boston. I was like, yeah, bro, whatever you need to do,
Because
Dad.
there's less people competing.
Yeah, he
Right,
just
well, maybe because he'll hit like a certain age group and they
Well, no,
only
that's
allow
exact-
certain people.
right
and-
there, right there. He's like, I'm 72 years old. He's like, there's not a lot of people running. He's like, my time is like 6 hours. He just ran San Diego on Sunday. No,
the
Saturday.
rock and roll.
Yeah, did it in under 4 hours.
Oh, so yeah.
So, dude, he's got it. I'm
Yeah.
like, bro,
For sure.
you got it, Dad. And he's like, you gonna try to make it for yours? I'm like, dude, I'm in like that prime
Huh.
window where they're like 3.5 hours. I'm like, dude, that ain't
You're all-
happening, bro.
You're all dead. Did you make it when you're my age? No.
Yeah, no, that's what I said. We run long, but we're not fast, bro. Just remember that. You know, like, but it's for me, fitness is such a big part of my life, and it has been my whole life. My mom was a trainer for 20 years.
Oh, wow.
She basically got me on, that's how I got into fitness because she was at the gym all the time.
No.
And I did it for selfish reasons. I saw kids being popular, and I was like, damn.
I want to be that jock.
Yeah, it's like, dude, if you're
Get the
skinny,
girl.
you're popular. That was my mentality. And then my mom was like, well, you can come to the gym with me. And it's just like, dude, spent the entire summer on the treadmill, just running it out. And since that time, I've never stopped going to the gym. Just either that or you catch me running outside. But the one thing that I did want to ask you guys specifically about is like certifications. So you're saying that you're doing nutrition and you're doing personal training and do these other things. So my brother-in-law, he has a shitload of training, like certifications,
Yeah.
and they go to different cities and do all that. Is that what you guys do? You guys do the same thing, or are you future plans?
No, well, I was say so the
Like, do we certify or are we certified? What do you mean?
Both. I mean, no. Are you certified?
I have my like personal training certification, my
Si-
NASM.
Okay.
But honestly, like, there's so many people out there that either are certified and are not qualified. It's almost one of those things where life experience.
So here's the
plays
perfect
better.
example where it's like, I'm not certified. She is. And when she writes a program, she's like, do you think this is good?
Yeah.
And so like, cause for me, I had more life experience in training myself and other people. Whereas like for her, she went to school, studied, passed the test. Like you could train people,
Yeah.
but she's like, I don't like,
I'm like, but I didn't like, I can train myself, but I didn't have the confidence yet because they teach you, but they don't teach you that in school.
Okay.
And so like for me, like I was a bookworm, I was a nurse, I was
Yeah.
great at all these things. But until you like really start diving into it is where I personally feel like you get the confidence. So now like,
Yeah.
great, it's awesome. But don't get me wrong, there are some of those people out there that aren't certified that they just shouldn't be trainers.
Yeah. I mean, if there's people out there doing fake karate, I'd imagine there's some people out there doing fake training. They're like, yo, have you seen the fake karate stuff? You seen people just, dude, look it up. Just Google it. Or even on YouTube or on Instagram, man, there's like guys who are just like doing this fake shit. It's like, and it's hella dumb, but either way, sorry. But,
so I think it varies on a case-to-case basis. Like,
yeah.
there are people that are certified that are amazing, and then there's people that are not certified that are amazing. And then, like, the same goes for the opposite. So it really just depends on, like, what have they experienced. Just because someone can train themselves doesn't mean that they can train somebody else.
Do you find that that's hindering getting new clients or hindering the experience, that people might come in and be like, well, why would I choose you guys? You guys aren't certified, or this, that, or this, or
honestly, most of the time it never comes out. That would be like, and if someone does, if someone brings it up, most of the time it's a way out or an excuse. That would be like someone walking in here, walking into Seven Seas and questioning like, well, what's your roaster's experience, or where is he trained before I get a cup of coffee? It's like the coffee smells good, everyone looks happy. You're not going to really question where it's coming from. And so most of the time, if you deliver on the service that you're providing, they're not going to question where you learned. And so honestly, it hasn't come up for us in regards to like, you guys, like, are you certified, or I don't know, this, that, whatever, because we're living proof that we know what we're doing, as opposed to just trying to sell someone something. It would be different, I think, if I was still overweight and like, come on in here, I'll get you the best shape of your life. I know exactly what I'm doing.
Yeah, right?
And it's like, are you sure?
No, I've seen that.
And so that's where I think, definitely certifications and stuff, like, because we have some friends that are fairly big, and you're like, I feel like you're not capable of training. But they're like, they train some of the best athletes because they know, like, knowledge, like they went to school and they've seen, like, what their programming can do. I don't know if they could go through their programming.
See, that for me. That's a big thing, because I've seen people like that.
Yeah. My
My mom was a trainer. She did aerobics for hella years. She did personal training. I've seen her beast out like 600 pounds on the leg press. Like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
My mom's 5'2".
Yeah.
Just put that in perspective.
Yeah.
But she's also extremely certified, did all these things. But then I see these other people. I used to see this one guy in Vegas, and I don't remember his name, but he's like tattoo face. Half of his face was tattooed, and this dude was like the meal guy.
Yeah.
But he was just like a bigger guy.
So he knew about meals.
That's what I'm saying. And it's like, bro,
Well,
I would ask my brother-in-law, I'm like,
how is he a nutritionist?
how does that translate?
I think sometimes, like, even with stuff like that, some people, maybe it's like they have the knowledge, they just don't want to put in the work for themselves. But for, like, me personally, I think, like, you have to be authentic to who you are. And we're big believers on we practice what we preach.
Okay.
Like, how can you tell somebody to eat healthy and not do it yourself? Like, how can you teach somebody that if you're not practicing it yourself? And, like, even, doctors, they are here to help get you better. But then how many doctors and nurses are smoking?
Dude,
like,
I've seen that.
It's very common. And I'm like,
Especially
like
respiratory therapists. You're like,
oh,
really?
God,
I feel
yes.
like that's
Yes. Yes.
Aren't you treating a cancer patient?
Yes. Like, it's integrity. It's so bad.
Do you feel, as fitness professionals, do you feel that it's as important or more important to strengthen your mind more than your body, or vice versa? Like, strengthen the body before the mind, or strengthen the mind before the body? Or is it incongruence?
So I would say it depends on the person. Because, like, for me, strengthening my body led to the desire to strengthen my mind. For other people, not necessarily. And so, like, that was one of my big, like, hopes in opening the gym, is that I would be able to facilitate that same type of transformation in regards to, like, hey, look, if I can show someone who is, overweight or their esteem is low, that with focused work, they can transform their body, and then they can now take that experiential, like, applied knowledge to any other field of their life, where it's like, hey, look, if I work hard, I can change my relationship, my career, my whatever, like, and you have physical proof in your body that, like, when you want to do something that you weren't able to do before and you work at it, you accomplish that. You can do that in any area of your life. So I was hoping to facilitate that transformation, because that's what fitness did for me. But fitness doesn't do that for everyone. So I think it would depend on the person. Is like, sometimes fitness leads into changing your mind, and sometimes changing your mind leads into like, oh, well, I need to take better care of my body, because the better you care for your body, the better your brain will do. Like the more the excess body fat you have, the smaller your brain actually gets in size. So then you become less capable.
Wait, what? Say that again. Say that again.
So Dr. Daniel Amen, so he does all kinds of like SPEC scans, and one of the things that he's like proven is that as your body fat increases, your brain diminishes in size.
This is proven.
Yeah.
This is a fact.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
I have never heard this
Yeah.
before.
So yeah, Dr. Daniel Amen, he's up in like LA County.
Newport.
But, yeah,
Newport. Okay.
So all his work is amazing, and so his thing, he preaches, and so his thing is, he just wants people to have healthy minds, and he thinks that like his big talk is loving your mind, because if you love your mind, then you won't do anything that's bad for your mind, so then you won't be unhealthy, you won't do things that damage your brain. So like anything that would potentially be bad, you wouldn't want to do because you love your mind and you want to take care of it. And so he works with people on rehabilitating their brain. Like
that leads me into another question. So there has been, as a fitness advocate my whole life, I was, what I just said earlier, I was like, I have so much stuff going on in my head that if I go longer than a week without at least getting one long run in, I'm fucked. I can't do it. But with that being said, I understand that, in today's day and age, especially, mental illness has been such a big topic for everybody. Yeah. But I hear a lot of fitness people and fitness advocates always saying, dude, if you start working out, this can like help diminish those mental illness things, depression, anxiety, all these things that a lot of people have, that especially people are taking, pills for. Yeah. Now, how do you guys feel about it? Do you have a theory? Do you have thoughts? Have you had any clients that have maybe turned the corner on mental illness, or that you're right now maybe working with that have these problems that are turning it around?
I think exercise, releases all types of chemicals in your brain, which causes you to, be happy. So a lot of people who are depressed, or just anybody in general, a simple smile, like if you smile, your body doesn't know whether you're really truly happy or sad. And so it'll release dopamine, and you'll start just feeling happy. And so the exercise does the same thing. It releases chemicals, and then you start like feeling good and feeling better. So like instantly that will improve your state. We've had depressed people, but not really anybody else.
Yeah.
Have you?
Well, then so like back to like said like Daniel Amen, one of his big things is that like he's a like his thing is for mental health is that like mental illness can be cured through increased brain health. And so most of it is like, hey, look, the reason that you have a mental illness or a potential, dysfunctioning in your brain is because it's not healthy. So if you get it healthy, then it will, like work properly. And so fitness can definitely help with that, but I don't think fitness alone can help. So I think it would be like, it's one of those things where it could definitely like be the catalyst, or it can start, but it could also go the other way, where some people get so like hell bent on fitness that now they're taking things that are potentially bad for their body and their brain to increase their fitness. And so it can help, but as like, there's no cure all. And so like, I definitely think it can help, but balancing, your nutrition, at least for us, is always first. Like that's the big approach that we take, is mindset first, meals second, nutrition or fitness last. Because if fitness is the determining factor for your overall quality of life, when you can't get that run, you're fucked. But if your mindset and your nutrition is good, and life happens and you can't get the fitness, then the fitness is just like cherry on top anyway. So it's just a bonus. And so we focus on like, trying to get people to, so I guess I would, retract my previous statement. So like try to get people their mindset right first, then their meals, and then fitness being the last thing. But sometimes that approach for us, we lead with the fitness to get them to realize, hey, look, you want to work on your mind. But I do think that it helps a lot for mental health.
So with all the fitness that you guys do you guys also, and especially with your mind, taking care of your mind, do you also partake in any other types of, body replenishments, meaning like meditation, floating, massage, acupuncture, these things like that to really help you kind of reset?
As much as we can.
Yeah.
Not as much, not as much as we should. Yeah. the life that I'm working towards is where I will do something restorative like that every day.
Restorative. There we go.
Yeah, and so like.
And
so
meditation you could do every single day, but
Yeah.
it's making the time for it, whether
Of
it's 5
course.
minutes or whatnot.
Yeah.
And so we definitely, it's something that's very high on our priority list, but like we're not perfect like everyone else. Most of the time our priorities are the first to go when it's like, hey, business or helping other people. It's like, all right, like massage can go so we can help someone else.
Mm-hmm.
But then every once in a while we have to do, look in the mirror and be like, hey, look, we have to take care of ourselves if we want to continue to serve the way that we are. But definitely restorative or like preventative measures are super high on the list.
Yoga? Do you yoga at all?
She's better at that. I am the least bendy person in the world. I will
Really?
I will break
Yes.
before I bend. That is for sure.
Do you feel that's problematic as much as fitness as you're doing?
Probably.
Yeah.
For sure. And so I definitely I know it like inhibits my training, especially since there's a lot of stuff that I would like to be able to do that I know that my range of motion is limited in, and mostly like I joke about it, but like my limited range is mainly my hamstrings. Everything else is good. Like, so my mobility and my hips and everything like that is fine, but like I can't touch my toes
Yeah,
to
he
save
can
my life.
squat freaking low. But
Yeah. So like
yeah,
range of
bending
motion
down.
is good. Hip flexors are like good for that. I could stand with my feet together, drop my ass all the way to the floor, and then stand back up without any issues. That's fine. But I can't touch my toes without bending my knees.
Whoa.
Um,
That's crazy.
So if we were to do acro yoga, he's the flyer.
yeah.
Whoa.
I'm the
Dude,
flyer.
you should float. You should really float because I floated a lot over the last couple of years because I had some pretty detrimental injuries. But because I had that, my muscles got so tight and my hip was, I dislocated my hip when I was a little bit younger. And
Skating.
yeah, really bad actually. And what I found through floating, I was able to like my body just, for lack of a better
The Epsom
term,
salt, maybe?
well, it unwound.
Yeah.
I would be floating in this deprivation tank, and my body would like legit start gyrating, and it would just like keep gyrating and gyrating. And I came out after the first couple times, and I told the dude, I was like, "Yo, bro, like,
I was twerking in
has
there.
anybody ever, has anybody ever said like their body gyrates?" And he's like, "I've never heard that before."
He's like, you're
He's
never
like, what'd you
coming
do
back
before you got in the
again.
tank?
Yeah, dude. He was like, "What were you doing in
the
there?"
tank?
It's like, bro, trust me, it's
Anything
too salty.
burning.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
just
too salty, bro.
He's like, we're gonna have to clean that one.
Yeah, dude. No, but it happened for months.
Huh.
Gyrating the whole time. My hip, where it was, my legs, just years of battering my body from skating. I feel like it was just like wound, and then it would just like stop, and
Yeah.
it would just eventually, then it would just be like super relaxing. But since that day, I mean, through yoga, through floating, through a lot of meditation. I worked at the Chopra Center up in North County
nice.
for a little
That's
while,
awesome.
so I used to lead meditations.
Oh, you should come to the gym and lead some meditation.
Oh, dude, I'm all about it. Why not? It's that when you sit in a room, especially at Chopra Center, when people are just like a little bit more woo-woo, again, as you can tell, I'm not that woo-woo, but I just, when I find something that works and I'm like about it, I'm gonna go full
It makes
throttle,
sense.
right? But you sit in these rooms, and there would be like maybe 30 people, and I'm like sitting in the middle just guiding them. If you believe in energy or religion, whatever you believe in, I don't care. It's the energy is something you can feel.
Oh, yeah.
And when you feel the people in there, like just through breathing and through silence and through just like, I don't know, being present, if you will, it creates this vibe, and it creates a sense of something that can come over you where it's calming, and it's just like, okay, hell yeah. Or, when you're sitting there and you're meditating, I feel like sometimes my shoulders will be bunched up, and then through just deep breathing, everything kind of like, I'll feel my neck straighten up, and then everything is by the end of the meditation, I'm like sitting damn near straight up. I'm like, how did that happen? But as much as I like fitness, I love restorative stuff about just as much. I mean, last night before I went to bed, I'll roll the yoga mat out and I'll just stretch. It's the only thing I can do sometimes. Dude, I'll be so wound up sometimes that if I don't stretch, again, I'll be fucked. I'm just like, dude, oh my God. It's like, sometimes that's all you need. Just like a solid leg stretch. Like, oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, no, stretching feels good. For me,
like-
I like it.
Dude,
Like
foam rollers and stuff.
That's like,
He's not about
well,
that.
it's like we were saying before that we started the show. We were like talking about social media. Like, oh, I'd love to have help. For me, I'm like, I know it's important, so I would rather call my
Stretchologist.
Like, so like I'll put it in a schedule to have someone else do it to me before I do it to myself.
What?
Because like I know it's important, and so like, but I wasn't like that before. Like she's enforced that into me. She's like, here, do it. Like it'll feel good. And like before we got together, I'm like no one touches me unless we're like in the bedroom. Like no one touches me. And then like after that, I was like, oh, she's in trouble. No. Yeah. And so like, but like I knew that I hadn't developed the habit of taking care of it like myself or doing it myself. Mm-hmm. And still now like my schedule will fill up or it'll fall on the back burner unless I put it on the schedule for someone else to help me with that. And it's like, all right, like
interesting.
That's how I'll do it because it's important. But like my workouts are the opposite. Like I know that's my time. I need to do it. Nothing gets in the way of that. But like the restorative, I'll put on the schedule for someone else to do to me because I can't do it.
What about sleep?
That's high on the priority list.
Yeah. It wasn't as big up until a couple months ago. We started to shift and saw like a huge benefit from it. So like now we do our best to get on average 8 hours a night. So
you straight up do the full 8?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, good for you guys. That's clutch.
So it's like this is like the exception. We'll adjust the rest of it, but like
that's also what they said. They said that you guys get up at like 3:30. Yeah. Dude, no.
So typically I'm in bed right now to get 8 hours, but we rearranged so that we could be here for this.
Perfect. Well, thank you for adjusting your sleep schedule.
Yeah.
I myself I can go with no sleep. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, but imagine how much better you.
Oh, but no. I've honestly just in the last, I want to say, maybe the last month. I always was like, my goal was like 5-6 hours. I'm good. And then I started getting 7, and then I was like 7, 8, and now I'm like averaging like a solid 7. If I go, like tonight, I'll probably go. I'm like 10:30. 10:30 is kind of like where I cut it. But I'm probably go to bed a little bit earlier. But I don't know. I feel a little bit more up. But I get up myself at 4. Yeah. 4 o'clock is every day. So basically, for me to get that 8 hours, it's a little tough. But I'm like, dude, what's 7 to 8?
Bedtime.
Wow, that's so gnarly.
And it's so funny because so many people are like, oh, like they focus on the morning routine, but they have to realize that, like the morning routine starts the night before. Where it's like, oh, what time do you get up? It's like, well. I honestly, most of the time, I don't really have a wake up time. I have a bedtime. Then it allows me to wake up. And so like, if I go to bed on time, then I wake up without an issue. If I don't go to bed when I want to, then the morning's a nightmare. And so it's like, all right, like respecting your evening will help for the morning to be so much better. And most people are the opposite. Like, all right, I got to get up at 5. And then like they stay up all late and they're counting like, oh, that means I'm only going to get like, yeah. But if you had like you said, if you had a cutoff time, then the morning is sacred because your evening is sacred.
Damn.
Unless you have a cat that wakes you up at 3 in the morning.
There you go. I did have a cat once that did that, but R.I.P.
He has now trained the cat to whine at 3 in the morning.
Oh, I didn't train him to whine. That's just when I get up to feed him. So now if I'm not up at 3 o'clock, then he's like, time to get up.
Yes. Is that because you have classes like early in the morning or clients that early, or you're just I want an early bird gets a worm type of thing?
That like I like it because it's quiet, so I typically get up and read or do something for myself before most people get up to start their day. So I get up, I do that type of like mental work for myself, and then I start my workout at 5 a.m. And so I only work out 4 days a week. And the other days, I still wake up that early to read and just, start my morning and kind of set the intention or the tone for my day rather than waking up and being reactive. So, like, I wake up, set my agenda for the day, and then handle my day. And it's easier to set my agenda for the day when other people aren't up trying to impose their agenda on my day, right?
You're trying to say, I'm imposing my agenda.
No, not you.
Are you up at 3 as well?
I'm usually up between... We'll say 3:30 and 4:30, somewhere around there.
Okay, so a little bit more sleep, just a little.
It depends, like, because I'll usually go to
bed later.
Yeah, it goes to bed later because I like to calculate my macros before I go to bed, so that I don't have to think about it in the morning. And so that way, like, I am able to wake up, I cook a nice hot breakfast for myself, and then prepare my meals for the day.
Dude, my wife does the meals, and we prep on Sunday, and then just have them, and it's the best thing ever. Because I just run over the fridge, boom, throw them in the bag. I don't even look. I just I already know what I'm gonna eat. It's like I was saying, egg whites, spinach, rice, and then the second meal is pretty much ground turkey, asparagus, rice.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
I started cutting the rice out. I'm like, dude, I can't do this rice every day. She's like,
Red potatoes, golden potatoes.
Dude, she
they're
just
amazing.
rails rice, just no problem, throwing it back. I'm like, how do you? She's like, I'm Asian. I'm like, well, okay. I could eat a burrito all day, bro. Like, I'm not eating it all day. I don't understand. But sorry, babe, if you hear this. But yeah, I don't know. There's so much factors that go in. I mean, we've touched on restorative, we touched on sleeping, we're touching on the actual working out itself. The foam rolling, dude, you got to do it. As a skateboarder, my whole life, I'm just saying, IT bands, the hammies.
I like the PVC pipes for foam rolling.
I don't know the PVC pipes, but
you just use a PVC pipe.
So
I use one. I use one with like spikes on, not spikes, but it's like
bumps. Yeah,
the bumps.
Yeah.
Oh my, that, and then I use lacrosse balls.
Oh yeah. Uh-huh.
Oh my god, the lacrosse ball, and then I'm assuming you have a Theracane. Do you have a Theracane?
Oh, I know what you're
It's
talking
like
about.
it's like a candy cane, but it has like all these. Oh, dude.
I do not, but I know what you're talking about.
You would hate that.
We have a vibrating
He has
foam
my
roller,
hands.
but we don't. I don't use it.
Dude, have you guys seen that new one?
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
the
like
Theragun?
Yeah,
The gun? Yeah.
Yes.
Dude, I need to get me one
I
of
know.
those.
You
I
just
know.
get a cordless jigsaw. And then
No,
Make your
dude,
own.
no.
Yeah.
So
I've
they're
seen
like,
people do it that
dude,
way.
there's the thing is like $3,000.
Yeah, but not a
then-
jigsaw.
No, I think
You know,
the Theraguns
but-
are like 600, maybe.
Are they 600 now?
600 to 1,000, I think.
Okay,
was the
so
last
maybe
time.
that's what it
somewhere
was.
around there.
Maybe they might have dropped a little bit. But my one homie is like, dude,
Black and Decker.
he took a Black and Decker, put in
Yeah.
like a piece, and then he's like, dude, same thing, and he just held it. I was like,
It's so loud. It's so loud.
They're like, yeah, the batteries charge faster and that.
Perfect.
Yeah, right?
perfect, bro.
Yeah, the Theraguns or like the Ray. They have a couple different ones now. The hyper guns and all that stuff. I think they're like around $1,000. They're like, oh, it takes like 5 hours for the batteries to charge. Like
Nah.
Black and Decker's like 15-minute quick charge. You're good
Dude,
to go.
yeah, you get however much that drill is. It's
Yeah.
gonna be cheaper, and then
Yeah.
you make your own little part. It's like, dude, DIY it, dude.
Yeah.
We were talking about it earlier. It's like the best thing about skateboarding for me has been it. Do you guys know Jerry Seinfeld?
Yeah.
Did you ever see that thing? There was like a clip that went viral of him having a lunch or a discussion with Chris Rock. He says, "I see those skateboarding kids. I know they're gonna be all right." He's like, because they're doing like.
Innovation.
Yeah, they're like problem solving. He's like, these guys, the amount of time it takes to dedicate to doing a trick and then finally landing it and rolling away. He's like, that's life.
Yeah.
You're gonna fail, and then finally you're gonna get it and you're gonna roll away. I sincerely back that comment because it is 100% true. Whether it's running a marathon or jumping down a gap to land a trick. I mean, I've broken ankles, I've slammed my head, I've dislocated my hip, I broke my back. I did all these things, but it's like you get up, you dust that shit off. Once you're healed, cool. Next thing, let's keep it moving. Like embrace the suck, like whatever we can do to keep going. Or even like have you guys heard of David Goggins?
Yeah.
Dude.
Oh my God. Yeah, that story is crazy.
Yo, David Goggins is like the best person in my opinion that I like. When I'm feeling shitty, I just listen to David Goggins. Like, what? You feeling sorry for yourself? I'm out here at a goddamn lake at 3 a.m. to show you people why. It's like, oh, dude, nobody's asking you to do that, bro. But I'm getting pumped because you're doing that. So keep doing it, But again, like I pull on all these different avenues, like skateboarders or David Goggins or anything like that. People like yourself. I mean, I love hearing that you guys get up that early because I feel the same way, but I think about it more in an aspect like I got to get up and get this money. Like I got to hustle. So at 4 o'clock in the morning, 4:30, I'm on the road driving Uber, Lyft, and it's like I don't even really need to do it, but it's like I need to pay off college loans. So it's like, am I gonna sit here and be? Have you ever heard like Ronda Rousey say the DNB, a do nothing bitch?
Yeah.
I love that. I mean, even as a man, like, dude, I ain't gonna be no do nothing bitch. Like I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna get out, and get after it. So whether it's fitness, cooking, doing coffee, driving, making extra money, doing podcasting, whatever. Like you just got to go out there and like not be a DNB. It's got to. Yeah, that's what it is. So, I mean, as you guys know, like you guys, and this is not not trying to be negative or anything. It's like, but you guys are definitely not DNBs. No. I like that. I appreciate people like yourself because it makes me feel like okay, I'm not just like alone out there. Because when you're up that early, there's like, dude, there's few and far between that people are actually up getting it after it, and that's.
And then especially like with you doing so many different things, like as an entrepreneur, a lot of people can't relate to that. They're like, how do you live that life? Like,
Oh, what do you mean? Like, what if someone has a party at 8 o'clock at night? I'm like, well, then I tell them have fun. Like,
Or you plan it out, like you were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
okay, so I know on Friday I'm gonna go to Susie's party.
yeah, so I'll sleep in a little bit later the next day.
The rest of the week I'm gonna get after it, and
Yeah.
then Friday, boom, there you go.
people think it's like way too like rigid or strict, and it's like, well, that's how you develop the freedom, is learning the discipline and knowing like what are the benefits, what are the cons of it, is this going to move me in the direction I want to go, and like really knowing like why you're doing what you're doing.
Well, it's the one thing I was talking to my wife's cousin, Jen. She's just the most intense, badass lady I've ever met in my life. And she, on Saturday, she has 4 kids, husband. And she says on Saturday, she's like, I do 10 miles before everybody gets up. I'm like,
Oh my God.
what? Hell yeah, Jen.
But I give them sleeping pills the night before. That
Dude,
way
Benadryl
makes
for
it easy.
everybody.
Yeah, everybody's passed out, then
Yeah.
not making a noise.
Yeah.
But the thing that I like about her is that we were talking before we left for Europe. We went from here up to Irvine, where they live, and went to like this birthday party. And we were talking about running, and she's talking about ultra marathon running and doing these other things. But then I don't know how it came up, but she was like, basically where people are at nowadays is like, they're living, and then maybe like around 40, 50, they're like, oh, it's cool, as I can just start declining. So it's like a steady decline, and people start deteriorating and doing these things.
Mm-hmm.
But then she said there's other people who, 40, 50, doesn't matter. You're just going to keep going.
Peak.
You're going to keep going. You're going to keep going. And then she's like, eventually you can either decline and have a shitty death, or you can just go, and then it just drop off and you die. And I was like, I'm about that second one right there. Cause like, I'm going to get after it till the wheels fall off. I don't care. And she's like, I think that's how you should be. And like, not me specifically, and I was like, dude, I'm totally in agreement with that, because like, dude, I'm not going to stop till the wheels come off. I mean, it doesn't matter if you keep pursuing and keep getting after it in your life and the things that you're trying to pursue, things that you're starting, much like yourself with your guys' gym. People are going to pick up on it. People are eventually going to come around, and it's just going to get even better and bigger. And it's how much you're going to put into it. I mean, obviously you guys are putting everything into it. So, I mean, hell yeah, that just gets me pumped. Like, I'm all stoked right now. Like, I want to fucking run.
I'm going for a night run.
Yeah.
That's something that we try to work with people on too, is just like, hey, look, like, especially if you want to make it a lifestyle or lifelong journey. So many people, when they get into fitness, it's like, all right, my entire life or leading up to this moment, I haven't really been taking care of myself if they're shooting for like a big transformation. Because most of the people that we work with, like their general population that don't put a lot of emphasis onto their health, and so they're coming in, and it's like most of society would tell them like, all right, then you're gonna start meal prepping, you're gonna be in the gym every day this week, you're gonna start doing all these things that they've never done before. And it's like, hey, look, like, rather than jumping off the deep end when you first get started, it's like, what's one thing that you can do tomorrow to be a little bit better? And then if you just commit to getting better every day, then like you said, you're on that upward trend for the rest of your fucking life. And then it's never like, what we work with people on, and the goal is to where no one ever looks back and is like, those were the good old days. It's like, today is the best day, tomorrow's going to be even fucking better.
Yeah.
And like, and if you can push for that, then like, it's awesome. Cause then you get to wake up and you have your best day every day. Even if like something bad happens, whatever, you're still going to push to make it better than yesterday. And so then like, you're just always getting better. You're never looking back saying like, I remember when I was good. Like,
yeah, no, hell no. And it's always evolving too, right? Like, even, like I said, my whole life was skateboarding. I can't physically, I can skate still, but I'm getting better through fitness, through legs. And that's why I've been so obsessed with getting my legs stronger. When I was skating, and I went skating in Spain, and I skated for 2 hours. I can't tell you the last time I skated for 2 hours. And I was looking at my wife. I was like, can you believe that? And I was like, I think that's because I've been working out so much, especially doing like squats, deadlifts, and just leg presses. And right after my injury, I wasn't lifting no weights. I broke my back. The doctor was like, dude, you can't lift weights. Like, no. And so when I tried to go skate, dude, 15 minutes of just like pushing on a board, I would be in pain for like 4 or 5 days afterwards. I skated for 2 hours less than a week ago, and I didn't even hurt the next day. I'm like, dude, this hell is sick. I'm like, yep, keep going to the gym, just doing deadlifts, man, just do it, whatever, just get those legs up. So I really appreciate what you guys are doing. And I appreciate people like you because it's like, dude, you can only show people so much, but you really like the proof is in the pudding, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know. I don't know. I could go on for hours about it. But dude, guys, we've done an hour 11. I try to keep it within an hour and a half. So we'll just wrap it up. Is there anything else that you guys want to touch on, that you guys want to give some shout outs or whatever? Tell people what you got coming up.
You go for it.
I mean, we always thank, 7Cs for all the support, and then you for having us on the show.
Hell yeah.
When you and Eric asked, we were honored. Sometimes when you put your head down and work, you don't necessarily think that people notice, and so having people ask and say like, hey, look, I'd love to hear about you, definitely helps us to keep pushing. So we appreciate, one, the support, and then two, the opportunity to be here.
Of course. Yeah, I mean, and I tell all my guests, or at least either on the air or off there, either way, it doesn't matter. Now that you've been on the show, you're definitely not, it's not going to be the last time you're on the show. Yeah. You're going to come back. We're going to talk about whenever you guys have some shit going on, or if you have like a big event that you guys want to do, or a big race or whatever like that. Wait, I didn't say, hold up. I actually forgot something. You guys got married at an obstacle course map. Yeah. I have that right here. I didn't cover that.
Yes, we did.
Yes.
Dude, please tell me about this real quick.
Well, it was funny the way that it turned out, because so like we said, we met and we were like 2 weeks after meeting each other, we set our wedding date, right? It was like, all right, but November 11th, so 11/11/2017, let's get married. And we were like, looked at the calendar like, it's a Saturday, perfect, let's do it. And so we set the date, and then a couple months later, we're still locked into that date. One of our friends is an avid racer, and he was going to be running the world's toughest mudder, and he's like, oh, I really need you guys there. I want you to be my pit crew for the race.
It's a 24-hour race.
Yeah. And
Whoa.
so they run nonstop for 24 hours with obstacles and all that like fun stuff. And so it's like NASCAR. They need a pit crew. So they come in to a staging area, and you just give them what they need. So like she's there for, medical, like checking vitals, give him food, change his shoes, roll him out if he needs to, give him a wetsuit because he's going to go swimming in the middle of the fucking night.
Whoa.
So like all that
Heavy.
stuff. It just like make sure they're good, and they treat him like a machine. Like, what does he need? Give it to him. Get back out there. And so like he was like, I need you guys there for that. Like, of course, we'll be there. When is it? It's like November 11th. Like, oof.
Tough day.
We have plans that day.
And we hadn't even plan anything for the wedding whatsoever. We're just gonna get married that day. We have no idea what we're gonna do, but that's when we're gonna get married.
So we were like, all right, how can we do both? So rather than saying like, no, we can't do that because we have plans, like, all right, like we could probably make this work. What can we do? So Tough Mudders, World's Toughest Mudder, they're the ones that were putting on the race. So we're like, let's see if they'll marry us. And so we contacted them through like tons of effort. It wasn't like we picked it was fun. Like, yeah, for sure. Like I knew someone that used to work for them. I was like, you try. And then like we're hitting people up on social media, doing all this stuff. And so like after a couple months of trying, we finally got a hold of someone that was like, we might be able to pull that off. And so we're like, all right, cool. Like just tell us what you want us to do. So we went back and forth with them. They had like, for lack of better terms, like one of their public faces. His name is Coach. He's there all the time. His real name is Kyle. He's awesome, but he's like, for lack of better terms, like a mascot. Like he's their face. He comes out there. He, warms people up and he sends them on out. So like the biggest race of the year, he's always there. He does it, whatever. He officiated our wedding. He's like the one that actually married us. We're like, oh, so like Tough Mudder and them did it at the finish line of their biggest event of the year right before the start of the race. So it was cool. We were surrounded by thousands of people. They streamed it online to millions of people.
Sick.
And we were able to, start our union right there. It was cool. She was in a rainbow dress. Kyle was
a rainbow dress.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So I had like a short wedding dress, and then I had like rainbow tulle underneath it all.
Gangster.
Kyle,
I like that.
Kyle was there in his Coach shorts, so like the super tan little baby
like
shorts,
short.
Yeah, with the orange
Yes.
tuxedo
And a
shirt, unicorn horn. It was beautiful.
Never boring.
Yeah,
Never boring.
And then,
Hell yeah.
So we we had our ceremony, and then moments later sent off our racer and stayed up for 24 hours pumping fuel into it, making sure he was good.
Did he stop and did he witness it, or was he still
No,
running?
he was there. So we did it right before the start of the race. So like everyone was there,
okay,
so
okay.
it was good. And then and it also with him, like we were like, hey, look, like this is a big day for you too. We're not trying to pull away. Like, is this cool? He was like, oh no, I would love to be a part of it. So everyone was
tight.
cool. We did
That's
it.
tight.
Then we got him ready, sent him off for the race. We pitted for him for the 24 hours, and then we ended up staying, an extra day or two in Vegas to like calm down and then come back to the gym.
Dude, hell yeah. Did you guys actually like not count your macros that day? Like partied out
We
a little
weren't
bit in
counting
Vegas?
macros at that time.
Yeah, okay. Just like got after it a little bit in Vegas. Like,
Yeah.
woo, just got married. Hell yeah, hell yeah.
It was more of a like rest recovery. I think what was it, 2 days we were there because we were up for 24 hours, and then just like doing gym stuff the whole year when it's just us is a lot of work.
Oh, I imagine.
So it was nice to do nothing.
Yeah, so I was like, oh, what'd you do in Vegas? Like, slept and like
Stayed in the
maybe hit the
room.
buffet. Did
Yeah.
you get, dude? I love me some buffets.
And yeah,
man.
it was like, and plus like a lot of people that race are like, oh, we're having like meetups for these parties. So like, all right, well, like we'll go hang out with some people for a little while. And so like that was cool to do some of the events afterwards with some of the other like racers and pit crews. But mostly it was just like rest and then like hit a little event, go to a bar with a whole bunch of cool people, and then go back and rest and do it again.
Hell yeah. I love that. I mean, Vegas is great for that. I mean, wait, what more can you love about a landlocked state in the middle of the desert that can get crab legs at any point in the day? I'm about that. But all right. Cool, guys. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate you guys coming on. Please tell the people where they can find you at the gym, on social media, wherever.
I am Baja Sam 225. That's Instagram, BAJASAM 225. Yes, that is a weird one. It was from high school. I used to have a Baja truck.
Tight.
And on Facebook, I'm Samantha Jogoleff. Yes, so it's Sammy Jojo, but Sammy Jogoleff is my
Jogoleff.
Jogoleff. Yeah, it was a tongue twister. I'm like, holy crap! I'm like, geez Louise. And then on Instagram, Just Go Lift Gym. And then Facebook is Just Go Lift.
Is it all one word, or is there like some underscores?
All one word.
All
Just
one
Go
word.
Lift Gym.
All right.
Mhm.
I'm the one with the underscores.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
Okay.
I couldn't even find him when we were trying to exchange Instagram stuff. He's like, "This is I'm Jogoleff." I'm like, "Excuse me." Yeah.
So mine
Type
is
it in.
Joe_go_lift. So
And
it
there's
says-
no E on that.
Yeah, so it says Joe Go Lift, but underscores between each word. And then on Facebook is Mickey Jogo Lift.
All right.
We're crazy.
What about where's the gym? Tell people again. It's in National City.
National City?
Right off the 5 on 8th and National.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you're from San Diego, most people know where Sid's Carpet Barn is. It's right around the corner from Sid's, and we're just south of like the Coronado Bridge exit or Chicano Park.
All right. You heard it here, people. Get there while you can. Get healthy. Come and see my homies. And yeah, I'll see you guys soon. We'll probably get some coffee.
Sounds
Hell
good.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Peace.